What is going on, dreamers? So we've been hit with some news. Tory Lanez has been convicted guilty of 3 charges in relation to the whole incident that he had with Megan the Stallion. From what we originally knew, we heard that Megan had got shot in the foot a couple of times. She said that it was Tory Lanez and he was like, telling her to dance and shooting at her feet and stuff. Tory Lanez defended himself and said that he ain't do nothing. She was just jealous, and that's how he got caught up in all of this, is that it was a whole love triangle. As this trial rolled around, we sort of got to see how messy the criminal system can go. But because I'm not a lawyer and I know a very, very, very intelligent one on YouTube, Mr. Bruce Rivers is going to explain to us exactly how this trial went down from his perspective.
Tory Lanez is a Canadian rapper, and he was in a car with Megan the Stallion, and we kind of know what this is about, right? He's alleged to have fired his gun in her direction and said, "Dance, bitch." Kind of like how they do in the Wild West, dance, 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 blah, blah, blah. So this is what I know, and I don't know the truth behind anything, so we're just going to give it to you straight what we think, just what's happening so far. The prosecution opened their case, and then the defense did their opening. You got 2 completely different scenarios. The prosecution is saying that Tory Lanez shot Megan the Stallion, and it was after he got insulted about his skills as a rapper. The defense is saying it could have been somebody else. It could have been Kelsey Harris, who was the friend who was in the backseat with Megan the Stallion. And the defense theory is that there's some argument between those two, and it had to deal with Tory Lanez being in the pool with Kylie Jenner or Kendall Jenner. I don't know, one of the Jenner people. Who the fuck cares? Let's just kind of watch what happens with the stop. Now you can see in the lower left, Tory Lanez is laying on the ground, and all he's got on are shorts and no shoes. Now, you got Megan the Stallion. I think she's bare naked. She doesn't have. I don't see any clothes on her at all. And she got out of the rear passenger.
From what we can see there, and I never even saw that video from the jump, but from what we can see there, we saw Megan the Stallion crip walking out of the car because, as you could see in the video, her feet were bleeding. Tory Lanez laying down with his hands straight up like this, sort of on the floor. And as Bruce said to you, there were 2 different stories given in trial. Now, again, we didn't get to see exactly how this trial played out. However, we were given the verdict afterwards, and this is what it was.
Today, a jury of 7 women and 5 men decided rapper Tory Lanez's criminal fate. Guilty, guilty, guilty on assault with a semi-automatic firearm, having a concealed, not registered firearm in a vehicle, and discharge of a firearm with gross negligence. Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, is convicted of shooting rap superstar Megan the Stallion in the foot after a house party in July 2020.
So there you see, it was guilty on 3 different charges. He was guilty on possessing the firearm, having it unregistered, and firing it. And I just don't exactly know where this is going to go from here. Obviously, when it comes to rappers and all these celebrities, they always have so much money that there's always a way that they somehow avoid going to prison. I don't know if Tory Lanez would be able to avoid prison time, jail time, this time, but you already know how money goes down. If you have enough of it, you can get out of almost anything. Look at our boy frickin' Jeffrey Epstein. But that's besides the point. Later in the trial is sort of where we get this controversial statement start to arise, where Megan the Stallion sort of diverts the attention of the jury by accusing Tory Lanez of using her status as a black woman against her, by accusing her of this being just a matter of a love triangle or stuff. And let's see how the news had put it.
Both sides built their case around jealousy. The defenses revolved around a jealous love triangle, while prosecutors shrugged that off as prejudice, saying her love life was only brought up in court because she is a woman. Instead, accusing Lanez of having a bruised ego, jealous of Megan's status. She testified he shot her after she insulted his career.
Constantly having to prove she's a victim because society sides with a man.
Megan testified on the consequences she has faced by bringing this case to court, but has felt the need to amplify the struggle black women face in getting criminal criminal justice as victims and feeling protected as women in the rap industry.
So as you can see there from ABC News, Megan the Stallion says, and people that are on her side, the way they put it is that Tory Lanez and his attorneys are only bringing up the whole relational side of it because she's a black woman and because she's a woman. And I honestly feel like that's a large portion of the reason as to why Tory Lanez lost this case. Think about it, right? You've got a man being accused of shooting a woman here, and then he brings up the fact that she only accused him because she was jealous, he was in the pool with some other girls, and she uses the claim that he's only bringing that up because she's a woman and he's trying to say she's too emotional. And resoundingly, the jury guilty, guilty, guilty on all 3 charges. Now, of course, there's a lot more that goes into this than even I know of. Again, we were not allowed the full ability to look into this case like we were like the Johnny Depp case. We weren't allowed to just spectate every single second of this and see all of the posts on YouTube. However, last thing I remember, and I'll be able to throw it up here if I'm able to find it, they had found DNA of a woman on the gun and not of a male, which would have immediately taken away the ability for this to be Tory Lanez who fired the gun, who had the gun. Obviously, they could have found more evidence that went against that, and if I do find anything that suggests that, I will put it up in this video as well. Just to wrap this all up, this won't be a long video, it'll be maybe 5 minutes or so, but just wanted to sort of jump into the story and see what you guys thought about it. Is Tory Lanez is more than likely going to go to jail. I mean, unless he can find some way to pay some sort of like damages, to pay out damages, having an unregistered gun and firing it is grounds for imprisonment. And he's a black man and he's shooting a woman. There's just, I'm not seeing many ways around this man not going to jail here. But from what we know, he has been convicted. And so therefore, that's what we have so far. If anything else comes from this, I will be definitely glad to come straight to you guys and let you know so that we have a platform to talk about it. Thank you for tuning in to Dreamers Entertainment. And if you're a fan of Tory Lanez, if you're on Tory Lanez's side, let me know what you think about this whole thing in the comment section down below. I hope Megan the Stallion's doing good. I hope Tory Lanez has some idea of what he's going to, do from here. But until next time, Dreamers, out.